So the most important thing that you should know about scores on the GRE is really how they're calculated, how they're scored. So you have, out of your 3 sections, your verbal, your quant, and your writing, they're scored a little bit differently. The verbal and the quant are scored in 1-point increments from 130 to 170. The writing is on a scale of 0 to 6, and it's in half-point increments. And they're also scored, the way that they're scored is slightly different. So in the writing section, you have 2 readers, and then there's the average of the scores, that's your writing score. And then the other 2 are computer scored. So the GRE is interesting in that it's a multi-stage test. It's adaptive. So when you take your first math section, for example, let's say you do really, really well, your second math section is going to be much more difficult because you did so well the first time. And then same thing happens on verbal. So if you do, let's say you don't answer a single question on your first verbal section, your second one's going to be much easier. So this usually raises a lot of like, oh, so should I strategically do really poorly on my first section so then my second set of questions are easier? Unfortunately, that's not the case. We can't really be strategic about how well you answer each section, especially because after you finish your first math or your first verbal section, you've already kind of put yourself into a rough score category. Even if you do terribly on that second math section, you've already done much better than if you would have done the other way around. So unfortunately, the takeaway is, like so many standardized tests, do your best on every single question and don't think about the scoring.